Hello everyone, and welcome back to Darkness in the Night. Today, we return to the mysterious story at the abandoned house in Bac Giang. Before we dive into episode 2, let's briefly recap episode 1. Huyen and little Na returned to the abandoned house in Bac Giang to clean it up. But they kept encountering strange and unsettling occurrences. A shadowy figure standing at the doorway. Footsteps echoing across the roof. The damp, earthy smell as if something had just been buried beneath the floor. The locked door, the whispering voice in the night, and a pair of unseen eyes watching them from the darkness. If you find this story intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe to Darkness in the Night, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future episodes. And now, let's begin episode 2. Outside, the wind brushed through the bamboo grove, creating long, rustling sounds, as if someone were hiding among the leaves. Huyen slowly turned her head toward the window. The old brown curtain swayed gently, revealing a pale courtyard fading into the mist. Suddenly, she felt exactly what she'd felt the night before, an eerie sense that someone was staring into the house. Watching her every move, a tight, sinking feeling crawled up her spine, chilling her to the bone. A sharp clacking noise echoed from the kitchen behind her. The sound was dry, like something tapping against wood. Huyen startled but tried to stay calm so she wouldn't wake Na. She stood up carefully, taking soft, silent steps toward the sound. The house grew unnervingly quiet. Only the ticking of the wall clock remained, steady and rhythmic, like a countdown to something drawing near. As she approached the kitchen, the clacking became clearer. It sounded like someone tapping their finger on the table. Slow, deliberate, one tap at a time. Huyen froze at the doorway. She looked inside, and her heart almost dropped out of her chest. The cabinet door, the one she was sure she had locked the night before, was slightly open. Inside, everything was pitch black, but what terrified her most was the faintest sound. So soft it was almost like breathing, coming from within the cabinet. A muffled whisper brushed past her ear, like a woman speaking right behind her. A cold breath swept across her neck, making every hair on her body stand on end. Unable to control herself, she stepped back. "Who is there?" Her voice trembled so much it barely formed words. Somewhere in the darkness, she heard a soft giggle, quiet enough that anyone else might have missed it. A deep wrongness rippled through her chest. Cold and suffocating, she reached for the light switch. The warm yellow light flickered on, and everything went silent. The cabinet stood still, containing nothing but a few old bowls and a dented pot. Huyen swallowed hard, breathed deeply, and gently closed the cabinet. She shut the kitchen door and headed back toward the bedroom. But as soon as she stepped into the hallway, a tiny voice whispered behind her, carried away by the wind as soon as it formed. "Sis, tear?" Huyen froze instantly. Cold sweat drenched her forehead. She turned back toward the kitchen, but the hallway behind her was nothing but a long stretch of shadow. No figure, no sound, nothing to prove she had really heard that voice. But she knew someone had called her. Hands trembling, she opened the bedroom door and stepped inside. The dim amber light made the room feel even more suffocating. Na was still asleep, breathing softly, though her brows were slightly furrowed, as if trapped in an unsettling dream. Huyen sat beside her and gently held her hand. The tiny warmth of her daughter's palm squeezed painfully around her heart. She reminded herself to stay calm. She was Na's only anchor right now. After a moment, Na shifted slightly. Her eyelashes fluttered before her eyes opened. She glanced around the room. Then her gaze settled on Huyen. Her voice was small and raspy. "Mom, I'm cold." Huyen pulled the blanket up around her daughter and ran her fingers through her soft hair. "Go back to sleep, sweetheart. I'm right here." But Na didn't close her eyes right away. She stared toward the window, her expression strangely unsettled. Huyen tilted her head, trying to see what her daughter was looking at. The thin curtain swayed gently, and the breeze drifting in carried the earthy scent of damp soil. What made Huyen's skin crawl was, Na slowly lifted her hand and pointed toward the window. "Mom, someone's standing out there." Her tiny voice was soft but unmistakably real. She wasn't dreaming. Huyen whipped her head around. But the yard outside was nothing but pale fog and the swaying bamboo grove. No figure, no silhouette, no sign of anyone. She turned back to Na. "What did you see?" Na shrank into herself, her eyes brimming with fear. The person, standing right at the window, looking inside. Her voice trembled, on the verge of tears. A white face, with no eyes. A blast of cold shot down Huyen's spine, so sharp she instinctively stood up and stepped between the window and her daughter. Her hands trembled so badly she couldn't even grip the edge of the curtain. She scanned the yard again, but it remained empty. Only the shadows of bamboo stretched long across the ground, shifting like human arms reaching in the wind. The room suddenly fell eerily silent. So silent that Huyen could hear her own heartbeat pounding wildly in her chest. Then, from behind the old wooden cabinet, a faint tap, 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 echoed through the room. Huyen spun around. The sound was unmistakable. Someone tapping a single fingertip against the wall. Steady, deliberate. Na burst into tears and clung to her mother's leg. "Don't let it come in," the little girl sobbed, her voice shaking uncontrollably. Huyen knelt and wrapped Na in her arms. She held her tightly, forcing herself to stay calm. But the tapping behind the wall grew clearer, as if something were moving inside the cold, hollow structure. The taps remained rhythmic, slow, stretching longer, until they suddenly stopped. Silence flooded the room, heavy, suffocating. A silence so thick it felt as if the world itself had paused. But before she could breathe a sigh of relief, the window pane made a soft tick, like someone tapping lightly from outside. Huyen jerked toward the sound, her pulse racing. The glass vibrated slightly, then stilled. On the cold, fogged surface of the window, a long streak began to form, like the trail of a single fingertip dragging downward. Huyen's breath caught, her knees nearly buckled. The air around her thickened, as if an unseen presence were standing right beside her. A gust of wind slammed into the room, sending the curtain whipping upward. Huyen looked out again, but the yard was swallowed in white haze. No figures, no movement. Yet she knew, something had just passed by the window. She could feel it. Suddenly, Na tugged on her shirt, her face pale. "Mom, it's inside the house now." Huyen spun around instantly. The room looked unchanged. No shadow, no footsteps, no sign of intrusion. But from one dark corner, a chill radiated outward, sharp, unnatural, like the cold breath of someone standing silently against the wall. Huyen backed away, pulling Na close. Both of them stared into the blackened corner, where the old wooden cabinet stood, its surface mottled with age and decay. The wood creaked, a slow, strained sound, as if something inside were shifting. And then, a whisper. Soft, clear, undeniable. "Give it back?" Huyen froze. Her lips trembled violently. She couldn't force a single word out. And at that moment, the cabinet door trembled. Just slightly, but enough to send ice racing through every inch of her body. She knew then, whatever lived in this house was waking up. And it was getting closer. Step by step, the wooden cabinet door kept trembling, tiny but deliberate vibrations shaking through it. Each tap echoed like fingernails striking the wood, slow, intentional, and filled with a simmering anger. Huyen didn't dare step closer. Just looking at it made her legs feel weak. Na pressed tightly against her, her small voice trembling. "Mom, don't open it, don't open it." Huyen stroked her daughter's back, trying to steady her voice even though her breath kept breaking. "No, I won't open it. I won't touch anything." But the cabinet didn't need her to open it. It opened on its own. A long, drawn-out creak cut through the suffocating silence. The rotting wooden door slowly unhinged itself, widening into a narrow gap. Inside was pure darkness, so black that nothing could be seen, but Huyen felt the cold pouring out of it. A cold like the breath of a body long buried beneath the earth. She backed against the wall, arms wrapped around Na, her hands trembling uncontrollably. Her eyes twitched with fear. Unable to blink, from the darkness inside the cabinet, she felt it. Someone was standing there, watching her, a face completely swallowed by shadow. Suddenly, a thin strand of black smoke drifted out through the opening, curling around the cabinet handle before dissolving into nothing. Right after that, something fell to the floor. Clack. Huyen nearly stopped breathing. She leaned forward slightly, eyes wide. The object on the floor was an old handkerchief, yellowed with age, stained with dried, dark brown splotches. She didn't need to touch it to know it was blood. Her voice cracked in her throat, barely a whisper. "This can't be. Who would leave something like this in there?" Na clutched her mother tighter, tears brimming in her eyes. "Whose is it?" Her tiny voice quivered, fear dripping from every word. Huyen shook her head, confusion and dread swirling in her gaze. "I don't know," she whispered, trying hard not to let her voice shake. "Don't touch it, just leave it there." Just then, something scraped violently behind the cabinet. A long, harsh shrrrk, like a dried, brittle fingernail dragging across wet stone. Then a hoarse whisper rose again, clearer than before. Give it back?" Huyen stiffened, pulling Na into the far corner. She knew one thing. No matter where they ran in this house, that thing knew exactly where they were. A cold draft sliced across Huyen's legs. The floor beneath her suddenly felt icy, as if water was seeping upward. She looked down. The tiles were dampening, and from the cracks between them, murky brown liquid began to ooze out. Na burst into terrified sobs, her tiny shoulders shaking. "Mom, it's coming, it's coming." The scraping sound from beneath the floor grew louder, validating her words. Something beneath the house was moving, searching, and it was right beneath them. Huyen tightened her hold on Na, panic flooding her eyes. "Don't look, stay close to me." But Na didn't close her eyes. She stared straight at the floor, pupils wide with terror. "Mom, a hand? A hand?" Her voice cracked. "It's coming up." Huyen turned in the direction Na pointed, and her heart nearly stopped. From the crack beneath the cabinet, a pale, bone-thin hand was slowly rising. The long fingers writhed like searching tendrils, scraping for something to grab. The nails were black, splintered, rotted like they'd been buried in soil for years. Both mother and daughter staggered back instinctively. But the hand sensed their movement. It clamped onto the tile, producing a faint crack, then pulled with force, making the floor tremble. Huyen's panic surged. Her heart pounded so violently it hurt. Na's frantic breathing pressed against her, worsening the fear. If they stayed here, that thing would crawl straight into the room. She knew they had to get out. She grabbed Na's hand and pulled her toward the door. "Come on, honey, run with me?" But the moment her hand touched the doorknob, she froze. The metal was ice cold, unnaturally cold, like frozen steel. She jerked her hand back. And right then, click, click, the sound of the lock turning. From the outside, someone, or something, had just locked them in. "No, no, no, no," Huyen gasped, her voice breaking. She pounded on the door, screaming through tears. "Someone, open the door, please." The house didn't answer. Only the wind answered, howling louder. shaking the window until it rattled violently. The floor trembled as the hand beneath it rose higher. Now the entire hand was visible. Then the wrist. A thin, cracked layer of skin peeled back, revealing the dark flesh beneath. Na screamed, pure terror spilling out. "It's coming up, Mom, it's coming up." Huyen spun around, her face pale with horror. Every nerve in her body felt stretched to the point of snapping. The air in the room grew heavy like metal. The floor seemed on the verge of splitting. Then suddenly, the hand stopped. Silence. A horrifying silence, thick, waiting, alive. Huyen gripped Na so tightly her knuckles turned white. She knew this wasn't the end. This was the pause, before something worse. And then, from the crack in the floor, where the hand had disappeared, a distorted, broken voice rose clearly. "I'm here." The voice seeped into the room like a shadow swallowing light. And Huyen realized, the real nightmare was just beginning. The floor beneath Huyen's feet suddenly turned ice cold, so cold it made her toes tremble uncontrollably. She could hear it clearly now, faint scraping from below, like fingernails tapping the underside of the tiles. Slow at first, then quicker and quicker. Na shook violently in her arms. Her face pressed into her mother's chest, tears welling in her eyes. "Mom, it's calling me," she whispered, her voice fragile, trembling as if it were about to break. Terrified, Huyen immediately pressed her hands over Na's ears, her own words cracking with fear. Don't listen to anything. Stay close to me, don't listen." But Na shook her head. Her eyes were wide, unfocused, as if something unseen was pulling her attention toward the crack in the floor where the hand had vanished. "It's telling me to come outside, it's telling me to go closer." A sudden shrrrkk tore through the tiles. A piece of tile snapped upward and flew across the room, as if pushed from beneath. Huyen jerked back, clutching Na tightly as she stumbled toward the locked bedroom door. Her nails scraped so hard against the wood that they began to bleed. But the frozen metal lock didn't budge. From the widening crack in the floor, strands of pitch-black hair began to emerge. Long, wet, slithering like leeches crawling out of mud. They tangled together, spreading in all directions, writhing across the tile floor, one strand creeping so close to Huyen's foot she recoiled in terror. Na sobbed, her voice breaking. "Mom, her hair." Huyen held her closer, her voice trembling. I know, sweetheart, don't look down, don't look." But Na kept staring, her small body rigid, as if something had taken hold of her mind. Her breathing grew sharp and fast. "It's crawling on me. Mom?" Huyen looked down, and her heart lurched. 2 strands of black hair had wrapped themselves around Na's ankle, curling deliberately like fingers. Instantly, Huyen yanked the strands off, but the texture, slimy, freezing, alive, made her recoil in horror. From the crack, the voice returned, sharper this time, broken, grinding like words forced through shattered teeth. "Come here." Na squeezed her eyes shut, but her body jerked forward slightly, pulled by an invisible force. Huyen panicked and pulled her back, but the pull from the floor was stronger than a child's weight. Na's shoulders lurched forward several inches. In the chaos, the floor gave another violent shudder. Huyen cried out, "Let her go, you're not taking my child." The tiles vibrated, then a deep, heavy thud struck from below, sending dust bursting into the air. And then, something emerged. Not a hand. Something far worse. Half a crushed face, pale, eyeless, mouthless, drenched in dripping black hair, rose through the crack. Huyen's entire body locked up, her lips turning blue. That half-face writhed unnaturally, the soaked hair clinging to it as thick droplets of inky water dripped onto the floor. Na screamed, a raw, piercing sound. It's looking at me, Mom. Shaking uncontrollably, Huyen dragged Na backward until they hit the wall, desperately avoiding the writhing strands of hair now crawling like serpents across the tiles. Tears streamed down her face as she cried out, "Please, please don't take my child. I'm begging you." The voice beneath the floor answered immediately, distorted, furious. "Give it back?" The air in the room seemed to compress, crushing their lungs. Cold seeped up Huyen's spine. The hair gathered into thick clusters, slithering up the side of the wooden cabinet like predatory tentacles. Na whimpered, choking on her own sobs. "Mom, it's coming out, it's coming all the way out." Huyen looked down. The crack was now wide enough for a hand, then a forearm, and from the darkness below, a long, unnatural neck began to rise, draped in dripping hair. It wasn't the neck of anything living. Huyen realized it instantly. Realized it, and understood that if they didn't escape this room right now, they would never escape at all. But then, suddenly, click, click, someone, began turning the lock on the other side of the door. Not to let them out, but to come in. And whatever was approaching was far worse than the thing crawling up from the floor. Huyen walked into the kitchen, turning on the stove to warm some milk for Na, though her hands still trembled uncontrollably. The faint smell of burning wood mixed with the chilly morning air, dragging the memories of last night back onto her shoulders like a heavy shadow. Every now and then, beneath the sound of wind brushing against the porch, she heard something else, soft, dragging footsteps sliding across the floorboards. Slow, weightless, lingering. Huyen bit her lip hard, refusing to look back. When Na was fully awake, Huyen tried to speak calmly, though her voice wavered. "Eat a little. Sweetheart, you were so scared last night, weren't you?" Na's gaze dropped. Her tiny fingers clutched her stuffed bear so tight the knuckles turned pale. She hesitated before whispering, "Mom, the lady in the bathroom, she looked at me like she wanted to say something. But her mouth, she didn't have any lips. Mom?" Her voice wavered on the edge of tears. Huyen immediately wrapped her in her arms. The child's back shook violently, her breathing short and uneven. "It's okay. I'm here, it's okay." But Huyen knew those words meant nothing. Something was truly haunting this house, haunting the two of them. The proof came seconds later, when a slow, steady knock echoed from the hallway leading to the grandmother's bedroom. Not loud, but deliberate, like someone tapping on old wooden boards with their knuckles. Soft, but cold enough to freeze their spines. Huyen placed a steadying hand on Na's shoulder and quietly motioned for her to stay put. She approached the hallway on her toes, breath tightening as she neared the old bedroom door. The knocking stopped. The air thickened, heavy, unmoving. She pushed the door open just an inch. Inside, the room was pitch dark, only the curtain by the window shifting slightly, as though a breeze from nowhere had slipped inside. She scanned the room, trying to assure herself nothing was there. But as she turned to leave, a sudden rush of cold swept across the back of her neck, making her flinch. At that moment, Na's small voice called from behind her, barely above a whisper, as if afraid someone else might hear. "Mom, I see that shadow again, it's in the yard." Her trembling finger pointed through the half-open doorway. Huyen rushed out, heart pounding hard enough to choke her. The yard was empty, only overgrown grass and the old moss-covered well leaning against the wall. No figure. But the feeling that something had only just stepped back into the darkness lingered, like the stale scent of damp earth clinging to the air. Huyen grabbed Na, pulling her inside before shutting the door tightly. Their breaths mingled, warm milk mixing with the cold, unnatural morning breeze. She knelt down, trying to keep her voice steady. Tell me exactly what you saw. What did the shadow look like? Na swallowed hard, her eyes darting nervously toward the yard. It stood right next to the well. Its hair was really long, but its face, it was all dark. I couldn't see the eyes, just the mouth. The mouth was really wide. Mom? A cold shiver stabbed down Huyen's spine. She squeezed her daughter's hand, her own fear tightening around her throat. This wasn't imagination. This wasn't panic. It was real, something hiding in the damp corners of this house, slowly revealing itself piece by piece. And then, before either of them could gather themselves, a loud crash erupted from the kitchen, as if someone had hurled a bowl onto the tile floor. Both of them jolted, eyes wide. A frigid wind swept down the hallway, and in it, a faint whisper rose. Broken, echoing, like a voice calling up from the bottom of the well. A voice, crying softly, calling Huyen's name. And in that moment, she knew. Another nightmare was beginning to wake. A gust of wind slipped through the crack beneath the door, rustling the old curtain with a dry, papery sound. The room was dim, but in one corner Huyen caught sight of something, an elongated handprint smeared across the wooden cabinet. A faint gray streak, as if someone had dragged wet soil down the surface. Her neck stiffened, and a cold shiver crawled up her spine. Na tugged gently on her shirt, her voice thin as wind passing through leaves. Mom, someone's standing in the kitchen, watching us. Her trembling voice stabbed through Huyen's chest. Huyen turned to her, cupping the girl's cheek to comfort her, but her own hand was ice cold. Don't be scared. Stay right next to me. Don't let go, okay? Her voice cracked, swallowed by the low hiss of wind sliding along the window frame. She bent down to pick up pieces of the broken bowl, planning to sweep them together later. But when she lifted her head again, the gray handprints on the cabinet had stretched lower, longer, like someone had just placed a soaked hand there and slowly dragged it down. The air tightened around her lungs, and she stepped back. Suddenly, the cabinet beside it clicked. A small but deliberate sound, as though someone inside had opened it slightly to peek out. Huyen yanked Na backward just as a faint exhale drifted through the cabinet crack, long, tired, and cold. Then a whisper rose from within, echoing like it came from the damp insides of old wood. Why did you come back? Just those 3 words. But they sent Huyen's knees buckling beneath her. Na clung to her arm, voice shaking uncontrollably. Mom, let's leave, please. I'm scared. I'm so cold. Her small fingers dug into Huyen's arm until the skin turned pale. That was enough to snap Huyen out of her daze. She grabbed Na and pulled her out of the kitchen, reaching for the door. Then a loud thud sounded behind them. She spun around. A wooden chair that had been pushed neatly against the wall now lay overturned in the middle of the floor. No one had touched it. No one had gone near it. But it had fallen, the exact moment they stepped out. The wind outside surged suddenly, whistling through the ventilation bricks and making the house produce a hollow, eerie hum. The living room curtains swayed even though the windows were tightly shut. Huyen felt it clearly. The house was breathing. A faint, cold, sickly breath filling every corner of the walls. She had just pulled Na toward the living room when the girl suddenly stiffened, eyes widening in horror. Mom? Her shoulders shook violently. The woman from last night, she's sitting in the chair. Huyen froze. She stared at the old wooden chair in the center of the room. Empty. But Na's eyes stayed fixed on that chair, locked in terror, as though something unspeakable was right there in front of her. Sweetheart, what do you see? Her voice cracked dryly, her throat felt tight, strangled by fear. Na recoiled, pressing herself against Huyen, her breaths sharp and shallow, her face drained of color. She's sitting there, her hair is covering her whole face, Her hands are on her knees. But her hands, they're black, like they were burned. Na's whole body trembled so violently it looked like she might collapse. A numb chill swept over Huyen's scalp. Every tiny vein under her skin felt frozen. She looked around the room. There was no one. But the shadow behind the chair, the dark patch on the floor beneath it, looked unnaturally deep. The longer she stared, the more it felt like something was sitting there, just invisible to her. Huyen pulled Na toward the front door, but her hands shook so badly she couldn't turn the latch. Cold sweat collected along her temples. She forced herself to breathe deeply. Then, suddenly, from the grandmother's room, the old wooden door gave a slow, drawn-out creak, opening, inches at a time, painfully slow, as if an unseen hand were pulling it. The wind in the house stopped. Everything turned still. A soft footstep echoed from inside the darkness of that room. Barely audible. A single step. From a person? Or something else? And at the end of the dark hallway, just beyond the doorway to the grandmother's room, someone was standing there, motionless, face obscured, but unmistakably watching the two of them. Na tugged gently at her mother's shirt, her tiny voice trembling as if she were trying to swallow her own tears. "Mom, don't let her come near us." Huyen bent down and held the little girl tightly, though her own arms felt weak and hollow, drained of strength. A faint tap echoed through the hallway, like fingernails touching the tile floor. Then the shadow ahead slowly, very slowly, tilted its head to one side. Not naturally, more like a neck being twisted past where it should move. Wet, dark strands of hair dripped downward, each drop landing with a soft, chilling pat. Huyen swallowed hard. She had no idea where the courage came from, but she covered Na's eyes with her hand. At that very moment, the shadow began to walk. Each step dragged with a heavy, wet scrape, like drenched clothes being pulled across the ground. The hallway filled with the damp, metallic smell of long-buried soil. Huyen tried to back away, but her spine hit the front door. She reached for the latch, only for it to slide back on its own and lock with a sharp click. She froze, her heartbeat slammed against her ribs, frantic and painful. Na buried her face against her mother's shoulder, sobbing softly. "Mom, I'm scared, I'm so scared." Her trembling voice cracked Huyen's chest open. Huyen wiped Na's tears, though her own eyes stung with fear. "It's okay, I'm holding you, I'm right here." But inside, she felt a cold wave of hopelessness. The footsteps stopped. The shadow stood in the middle of the hallway now, only a few steps away. Its hair didn't just hang, it stretched, extending across the floor like living strands searching for something. One long strand slithered toward Huyen's foot. She tried to move, but her legs felt nailed to the ground. Cold radiated from that strand, bone deep. Then, from within the darkness, the same voice from the previous night rose, strained, choking, wet. "Give my child back?" The words tore through the air. The living room light flickered violently. The very walls seemed to tremble. Na screamed, clutching her mother with both hands. "Mom, don't let her take me." Huyen held her daughter as tightly as she could, tears falling onto Na's hands. She understood. Tonight, that thing had come to claim something. But before the shadow could take another step, a loud thud erupted from the grandmother's room, like someone had slammed a fist against the altar cabinet. The door to the room cracked open, and a faint yellow glow seeped into the hallway. Then, from inside, came a soft chant. Old, shaky, but clear. "Mother, don't call me, I'm not ready to return yet." The words flowed like a lullaby, but every syllable made the shadow hesitate. Its hair twitched sharply. Its body stiffened. Huyen whipped her head toward the room, heart ready to leap out of her chest. Her grandmother had been dead for years. No one should be in that room. But the chanting continued, steady, rhythmic, each word pulling the shadow backward, step by step, until it faded into the darkness at the end of the hallway and disappeared completely. The house fell silent. A thick, unnatural silence. Na wiped her face, still sobbing. Who was chanting? Mom? Huyen didn't answer at first. She held Na close, her eyes fixed on the grandmother's room. The hallway's cold hadn't lifted. The smell of damp earth lingered. And worst of all, the grandmother's door now stood wide open. Even though Huyen knew she had locked it years ago. She inhaled shakily, her voice hoarse. I want to know that too. A sudden gust of wind swept through the cracks of the old house, scattering dried leaves across the floor. And in those leaves, Huyen saw it. A muddy footprint. Small, child-sized, trailing from the grandmother's room into the center of the hallway. But in this house, Na was the only child. This is where tonight's story ends. The muddy footprint in the hallway, the chant rising from a room locked for years, all of it is only the beginning of what hides beneath the cracked roof tiles of this old ancestral house. If you felt a chill and want to follow Huyen and little Na through the horrors ahead, don't forget to like, subscribe to Darkness in the Night, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss episode 3. There, the truth behind the child who once lived in this house will begin to surface. Disclaimer: this video is a work of fiction in the horror genre, created for entertainment and atmospheric storytelling only. It does not promote superstition or encourage dangerous actions. Any resemblance to real individuals, locations, or events is purely coincidental. Visual elements may be exaggerated for dramatic effect. Thank you sincerely for supporting Darkness in the Night.